Good morrow, everybody.
Ho, 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 ho!
Morrow, everybody. My name is Robin, also known as Sunnyside Up Gal, and you are my Sunnyside Up pal. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by for the first time, and if you are returning, thank you so much for being here. It is day 11 of Vlogmas. Again, can't believe I'm here doing this again, dropping another video 11 days in a row. That's wild. That's a lot of commitment, okay? I did this is barely a vlog. I did content. So I just recorded and documented mumble jumbling in this video. So yeah, about a fat fast that I did yesterday. Now I do want to let everybody know and warn you folks. So this is my weight loss, my own personal weight loss journey. This is what I'm doing to help myself for medical reasons and aesthetic reasons. Like, let's be honest. I just want to let people know that I will be talking about fasting and like weight loss. I think fasting, the keto diet, like weight loss, eating fat. And if that isn't something that you're interested in, my feelings won't be hurt if you decide not to watch this. But I'm also very entertaining, so maybe you'll like this either way, even if you don't agree with like a keto diet or like fasting with fat. But I also dropped in some interesting educational pieces in here as well, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care of yourself first though. So if you can't watch this, I am gonna be okay. Goodbye. I'm about to take a shower to get ready for work. As promised, I'm going to show you guys my protocol for my fat fast. This is ghee. I make it myself. It's basically rendered clarified butter. So you boil the butter, take all the solids out, and then you get this high heat cooking stuff. But it is loaded with vitamins and minerals, and I'll try to list them if I have the time. And I'm going to make a fat bomb. So I'm trying to fast, but I bring a fat bomb in case I get to that point in my fast where I'm like, shit, I really need to eat something. What can I eat? And instead of me using DoorDash and ordering some junk, I'm gonna eat a fat bomb. Normally I would mix everything and put them in my cute little molds and put those in the freezer, but I don't have time. I'm actually just going to put it in a mug, and when I get to work, I put the mug in the fridge and I'll go grab it if I need it. You need a scale. I'm gonna weigh everything out. It is, you guys, it is kind of a disgusting amount of fat, but if you think about all the fat that you are required to eat a day, it's there, okay? I'm talking like required to eat if you're not having carbohydrates. So if you are removing an energy source, you have to like double to triple to quadruple your other energy source, and that's fat in this case. In my case, it's a lot. And yes, it is difficult to eat sometimes, but if you get to that point when you're like fasting, that point where you're just like, I could eat a horse.
Taking him back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses.
It's delicious. Like, it's
totally
hitting the spot. So let's be gross together. So I do ghee and avocado oil. So the ghee is just a delicious base, and the avocado oil is just another MCT, another form of fat. There's different omega balances. I don't have the exact terminology. Also, this makes, they mix well so that if I put them in the freezer, it's still like biteable and delicious. Okay, so if you are wanting to start keto, or you're watching this video going, she's gonna give herself a heart attack, stop. Lose that mentality. Eating saturated fat does not directly cause heart attacks unless you are eating them in conjunction with inflammation and carbohydrates. So they are still studying some stuff. There's new studies coming out every year about saturated fat. So that whole myth that saturated fat causes clogs your arteries is that it's a myth. So Harvard was actually paid by the government or Big Sugar, there's a whole thing, to lie and say that fat, not sugar, causes heart disease. But we know now that inflammation, diabetes, all that jazz are to blame for the snowball effect of getting heart disease eventually. So I highly suggest that you follow these doctors. Dr. Pradeep Jamnadas, he is a doctor that's near me, actually in Florida. He's a cardiologist. His main focus is heart disease, clearly, but he has a great channel. He does a lot of public speaking. He actually did a recent episode on Diary of a CEO. I need to finish that episode, actually. He's real big on fasting and talks about like the true causes of heart disease, and and mentions like stress and inflammation. But he's real big on fasting. There's actually a huge popular video on his YouTube channel that I've watched over and over again on fasting because I learned something new every single time I've listened to it. Yeah, he's just, I think he was the first doctor that I've ever watched that was like a big proponent of fasting, and I was shook by it. I was entranced. I was charmed. Right? Okay, and then there's Jason Fung. He is a doctor based in, I think, Canada. He's also big on fasting. His thing is like lowering blood sugar, keeping your blood sugar low, insulin resistance. He's written, I think, 3 books, maybe more, but I think right now what he's, known for are his code books. So I've read, I think his first one was called The Obesity Code. So interesting. I should probably give it a listen again. But he now has the cancer code and the diabetes code. He just like breaks it all down and tells you what's up. Again, it's the overconsumption of sugar and the lack of allowing insulin to fall. That's why the obesity issue is going on right now. And then there's Ben Bickman. He's a scientist based in Utah. I think he worked for Brigham Young University. And his main thing, again, is insulin resistance, but it's mainly like studying insulin resistance. Also very interesting man. These people go give their channels a follow and listen to some of their public speaking. Me likey. Go and learn. Okay? All right, so I basically just did a 1-in-1 ratio. I'm almost like super embarrassed to tell you how much it is, but it's basically an ounce of ghee and an ounce of avocado oil, and this is going to be plenty of fat for me to sustain my fast. So a fat fast isn't just you eating fat all day. It's using fat to extend your fast. So a fast, there are many ways to fast. A fast traditionally is like nothing, no water, no water, no food, no intake. That's a normal fast. That's like an extreme fast. And then you have like a regular water fast where you're just doing water, nothing else. Then you have a liquid fast where you're like, I have Coke Zero. That's what I usually do. Diet sodas, bone broth, just things that don't really spike your insulin, but it's not like a true fast. And then you have a fat fast, which is I have liquids of choice. And then when I get to a point where I'm like, yo, I'm starving, I extend the fast with some fat. And this has helped me so much in the past. It actually helps you get into ketosis way faster. Like if you fell off. So yesterday I had 4 cookies. If you have fallen off, it's a great way to get back into ketosis. It's also, if you did 2 or 3 of these a week, you're going to be snatched. It sounds so crazy. It does. The other thing too is when you do a fat fast. So if you go to my video, I'll link it again. If you do a fat fast, the fear of fasting is that you'll lose muscle. But with this protocol, I'm going to be doing an FGF21 protocol, and that's in the video that I'm linking. So there's no muscle loss. So with the FGF21 protocol, you are you're getting flooded with an energy source that your body, and you're getting just enough protein that your body isn't going after your protein to break down into glucose for more energy, because you're overfilling with energy and you won't store it because there's no insulin, because insulin is the storage hormone. When you enter a fat fast, you allow your insulin levels to fall. Eventually, you'll enter a state of ketosis. Both low insulin and ketosis burn fat by, quote, opening the gate for fat cells to release stored fuel and shifting the body into a mode where it must use fat and ketones instead of glucose for energy. You get your glucose from carbohydrates, y'all. Fat fasting also stimulates FGF21, a hormone that boosts fat burning, improves metabolic flexibility, and helps preserve lean mass.
If you're worried about muscle loss, fat fasting is actually muscle sparing. A steady supply of dietary fat and ketones gives your body all the energy it needs, so it has no reason to break down muscle for fuel. Ketones themselves are muscle protective, further safeguarding lean tissue while your body burns that fat, girl or boy.
I'm a doctor.
I do add a little bit of 0-calorie sweetener to Swerve, but I don't want this one. I want the monk fruit one. We do monk fruit up in this hizzo. This is for baking. Where are you, monk fruit? This is the brand of monk fruit that I get, Lakanto. Not sponsored. A lot goes a long way. They give you a little Coke spoon for it. Mixy, 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 mixy. That was probably way too much. Oh, it's all right. And then I add some salt, and that is my fat bomb. It is not glorious, you guys. And it's actually, the simpler the better. If you can keep it simple, you will stick to your goals, right? So if you overcomplicate recipes, overcomplicate food, like meal prepping, you're gonna be like burnt out. This is 4 ingredients: fat, monk fruit, salt.
Don't pay attention to all of this. This was in the shop when we were painting, and that's paint splatter. But I logged in at 186 this morning. I was 184.6 on Friday. I'm gonna get Beaky the trick. So I checked my blood sugar this morning, 99, not bad. At work I had no ketones. Checked again a couple hours later.
Hello, I'm home on my lunch break, and I'm not having lunch. I'm still doing my fast. I actually left my little fat bomb at work. I was going to bring it home and eat it, but I really wasn't hungry. My main focus for coming home was to let the dogs out and to do some dishes, because I've kind of been neglecting Mikasa for Vlogmas. So I'm going to do some chores right now.
All right, so I have to go. Ooh, I need to change back into my sweater.
Okay, very important to stay hydrated when you're fasting, so I'm going to chug a bunch of this before I go back to work. And then when I get back to work, I have electrolyte packets that I'll share with you that I use when I fast. All right, so I just wanted to go over my electrolyte mix that I use. So I use this. I don't really know the name of it. I'll put a picture right here. But I get it off of Amazon, and it's pretty cheap. I think it's like less than $20 for like 30 packets. And I don't know what happened, but a few years ago, everybody got into like taking electrolytes. I don't know if you ever heard of that brand, LMNT. They're so expensive though, and they're charging you a lot for salt. I don't know. It just seems so bizarre to me, but I can't find anywhere locally that sells an electrolyte packet that has this much sodium in it. I need a lot of sodium. So a lot of people are afraid of intaking extra salt, but if you're not eating anything and you're peeing a lot, you need a lot of salt, because we are like batteries. So like your heart, electrolytes, you need you need salt and electrolytes to like move your muscles and stuff. So this is going to prevent any kind of headaches, muscle aches, heart palpitations, or anything like that. Now, I can't find anything locally this cheap. I get this off Amazon for I think less than $20, and locally they try to get you, they try to get you for like $40 for salt, and I'm just like, nah. So I'm gonna take this when I get inside, and maybe I'll have my fat bomb. I don't know yet.
All right, here I am having the fat bomb, LOL. It was frozen, but it's kind of cool because you can like chop it up and it turns into like a little piece of fudge. And then you eat it like that, and it's really good. It took me like 45 minutes to eat this up because it's so filling. Tasty, but filling. 88, that was my blood sugar.
Okay, I just got off work. I'm going to check my blood sugar for the last time, and this is my last test strip until I have to get more tomorrow. If you're wondering, Robin, why did you change out of your sweatshirt? Why did you change out of your sweater at lunch? My sweater is kind of annoying, but fashion, right? But I have to use rubber bands to pull the sleeves up, and I had to do chores, and I didn't want to get like dishwater on my shirt. But anyway, so now I'm home. Let's check the blood sugar. I'm also running out of battery of this meter, but I did eat my entire fat bomb earlier, and I feel pretty good. I actually am very focused, which is what happens when I fast. I don't know.
I often wonder if this is an evolutionary thing. The hyperfocus while fasted, was it required for survival when our caveman ancestors were looking for their next meals? Because sometimes they wouldn't eat for like days, hunting and gathering. I kind of get hyper and I have a hard time sleeping when I'm first getting into ketosis. It's an energy completely different than what sugar or caffeine can give you. Even today I was up at 12:30 a.m. and I feel wide awake and a little bit annoyingly hyper.
And technically it's only like a 24-hour fast. I think I might break it. I'm making some ground beef. I'm at 91 right now. I'm making some ground beef just because this ground beef needs to be cooked like today. And if we don't eat it, I can freeze it and then we can just put it like in pasta or chili later in life. Isn't that such a luxury? Isn't that such a luxury, you guys, that we can be like, we have too much food and I have to do something with it. I don't know. It's amazing to live in a first world country. I'm very, very thankful. I'm gonna show you my, if I make dinner, I'm still kind of contemplating if I'm gonna eat something. I'm gonna show you like my macros at the end of the day. Tomorrow I will do a weigh-in, even though I know because I've been fasting today, that it's going to be lowered. But it's interesting to see how much, you know, I am a morning weigher, especially after a poop or a pee. And then we start the fast, the FGF protocol, which is like high fat, very small protein, almost zero carb. We'll go from there. Again, I'll link my video so that you guys can watch the process and what happened before. I ended up losing 10 pounds when I was doing the FGF 21 protocol in a week. So that was cool. Okay, so I started the FGF 21 protocol early. So basically high fat, lower protein, almost zero carbohydrates, and we're gonna get skinty. This is yogurt, coconut yogurt.
So I forgot to share the next day morning weigh-in with you.
I was not expecting that. Were you? Not me.
Okay guys, thank you so much for watching the vlog. Like I said, I've been up since 12:30 and I'm like wired. Am I gonna have another dirty Mr. Pibb? Yes, I am gonna have another swig, of course. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Like, leave me a comment. Are you guys interested in stuff like this? Do you like my vlogs? Again, this is important to me, so I understand if it's not important to you. This is something that I'm documenting for myself. I am currently on a weight loss journey. I have PCOS and Hashimoto's. I want to prove that it's not impossible to lose weight if you have PCOS, Hashimoto's, or insulin resistance. It's very possible. I've done it before. I just gained weight a lot faster. Come back tomorrow because I am posting another reaction video tomorrow. I'm having so much fun with you guys. So yes, please come back tomorrow for another reaction. And if you watch this, leave me an emoji. How about this? How about this? Leave me a food emoji because this was kind of about food, but no, but the lack of food. Thank you so much for being here. All right, goodbye.
And every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Shoopy doopy, don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? Shoopy doopy, you'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade them for a package of sunshine and ravioli macaroni.